What if Rimuru we are pirates One Piece X Tensura? By KyleBayan. Wealth, fame, power, Gol D. Roger the king of the pirates obtained this and everything else the world had to offer, and his dying words drove countless souls to the sea, marking the beginning of the great pirate era. Join Monkey D. Luffy, a boy who ate the gum fruit, and his twin sister Monkey D. Rimuru, a girl who ate the slime fruit on their adventure across the sea to search for the One Piece. Chapter 18. Snow Warning. Climb to the castle. After hearing the news that Dr. Kureha is in the village, Dalton, Usopp, and Vivi begin asking around for her. They eventually reached a tavern, where they were told that the doctor had already left. Usopp yelled, "You mean the witch left this town just a few moments ago? You've got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous." A kid spoke up. "She left after she made me feel better." Dalton asked the crowd, "We have to find Dr. Kureha. Does anyone know where she went?" A man answered, "I think I know. I think I heard from somebody else that she was heading for Jayasta." Dalton gasped, "Jayasta?" Usopp asked, "Where's that?" Dalton explained, "If we're going to Jayasta from Big Horn, we'd be going in the opposite direction from when we had to come here." Usopp said, surprised, "Oh great, we already passed her." Dalton added, "Ice skating is very popular there." Usopp snapped, irritated, "What does that have to do with anything?" Vivi urged, "Calm down, Usopp, we need to get going to that town. At this point, we really don't have time to lose." Usopp sighed, "I guess you're right." Suddenly, a voice called out, "Dalton!" Everyone's attention was caught by a man at the door covered in injuries. The man gasped, "I found you at last." Dalton rushed over. "Hey, you're injured. What happened?" The man cried, "Every watchman was killed but me." "Dalton, please, Dalton, you have to help us. It's Wapol. He's returned, and he's headed for Big Horn." Everyone began panicking at the news that Wapol had returned. Dalton rushed out of the building and ran toward Big Horn, transforming into a giant bison. Dalton thought to himself, "I'm going to settle this once and for all, but I guess I can't call it justice because I'm just as guilty as you. But you're the one who'll be punished. I'm coming for you, Wapol." Elsewhere on the island, many villagers heard the news of Wapol's return and how Dalton went to Big Horn to fight. They armed themselves and headed toward Big Horn. Meanwhile, Vivi and Usopp were given a sleigh and goats so they could go to Jayasta, but they immediately got lost. Following Dalton's path, he had arrived at Big Horn just as Wapol decided to head for the castle. Dalton immediately changed to his human form and attacked Wapol, which surprised everyone. Koromarimo shouted, "Who is that?" A soldier yelled, "It's Dalton." Dalton declared, "I came to see you dead, so this really suits me just fine." Chess and Koromarimo got into a battle stance. Chess yelled, "Dalton, you bastard. It's a shame you're still alive." Koromarimo smirked, "You just ended your own king." Dalton countered, "He shouldn't be difficult to fix. After all, we live in an advanced medical nation with 20 qualified doctors." Koromarimo agreed, "That's right, 20 MDs. Heal him." As Wapol was flailing in pain, the 20 doctors immediately performed an operation on him. Wapol groaned, "Wow, I was sure I was going to die for a minute there." Dalton yelled, "This is a perfect example of the situation. You receive all the medical attention you could possibly need, while your citizens have to suffer without a doctor. It's wrong." Wapol snapped, "It's wrong. Show some respect. I'm still your king, Dalton." Koromarimo threatened, "You better shut your mouth if you know what is good for you." Chess added, "The three of us, including you, were in the highest position among Wapol's men. We are his loyal servants, or have you forgotten?" Dalton clenched his fist in anger. Dalton muttered, "I haven't forgotten. It's true that while you were making our people suffer, all I could do was stand there and do nothing as you ruined our country. I have to accept responsibility for that. So Wapol, let's leave this country together. We can't stay in the land we betrayed any longer." Many citizens in Big Horn protested for Dalton to leave, while agreeing that Wapol should never return. Wapol ignored the citizen's comments and foolishly thought he had done nothing wrong. Wapol laughed. Ha! You should have died, Dalton, and your post as captain of the Drum Kingdom Security Guard. I don't know how you all survive in this country without any doctors. Dalton countered. Our country is nationally acknowledged for developing medicine, but now that is nothing more than a cheap charade. No one knows that there are only 20 doctors shut inside the king's own lab, leaving the citizens to suffer. Wapol bragged. Yes, anyone who is sick or injured must come to beg for their lives if they want help. And if I feel like it, then maybe I'll lend the 20 MDs services. If they want to live, then all they would have to do is obey me, their king. This way, no one will dare challenge my rule, and that's the perfect way to govern a country. Dalton yelled in anger. This isn't real governing, Wapol, and you aren't a real king. Wapol ordered. Well, you've certainly spoken your mind, Dalton. Now kill him. I want you to shoot your former captain. Dalton sighed. As usual, you don't understand a thing I'm saying. As Wapol's men aimed their guns at Dalton, Dalton transformed into a minotaur-like creature using his ox fruit. Model, bison. Dalton growled. I served your father before you, and he was always a good man and a fair ruler. I had hoped you'd resemble him one day, but I see that's just wishful thinking. Dalton charged at Wapol, thinking, no mercy, even to my ex-soldiers. Startled by the transformation, Wapol's men began firing at Dalton, but Dalton evaded the shots and cut down the soldiers. Dalton shouted, I've had enough of your so-called rulers. There is no hope for a country if the king and his men are the first to flee from danger. Koromarimo challenged. Let's see how well you do fighting us. Chess mocked. Just give up. Before the fight could continue, many citizens came running, shouting that they wanted to help Dalton. Chess grinned. I've known you for a long time, and I know your weaknesses. Dalton screamed, No, don't. Chess aimed his arrows and fired directly at the citizens. Dalton quickly threw himself between the arrows and shielded the citizens. Dalton collapsed from his severe injuries, causing shock to the citizens who wanted to help. Wapol grinned. That's quite the fitting death, right boys? Maha ha 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 ha. As Wapol began laughing at the outcome, everyone felt the ground shaking. Wapol paused. Is that an earthquake? A soldier pointed at the drum rockies and screamed, It's an avalanche! Both citizens and soldiers fled in terror. Wapol quickly got onto his woolly hippo. Wapol ordered, We're running. Chess, Koromarimo, get on. Robson, serious mode. The woolly hippo stretched its legs and was about to run when the 20 MDs blocked its path. Dr. One cried, Wapol, sir, please, you have to let us on too. Wapol yelled, Get out of my way. You can find your own way out. Robson, hurry. Wapol's mount began running away just as the avalanche crashed on top of them, burying them completely. Meanwhile, after seeing the avalanche, Vivi and Usopp freed the goats from their sleigh and started running. Usopp panicked. We'll be all right. 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 I promise, Vivi. Even if we get buried by this, I'll be able to save you, I'm sure. Vivi asked. Luffy and the others headed off in that direction, right? Do you think the avalanche could already have gotten to them? They kept running, but the massive wave of snow quickly buried them. After a few moments, Vivi woke up. She looked around and saw something sticking out of the snow. Vivi gasped, Usopp! Vivi quickly dug Usopp out of the snow and then proceeded to slap him awake to prevent him from freezing. After Usopp woke up, the two began walking. Usopp muttered, Wow, you saved my life. Vivi, I was almost a goner there for a second. I'm lucky to be alive, but why does my face feel so swollen? Vivi stammered, Oh, it must be the cold. It's an unfortunate side effect of a snowy area. What matters now is that we figure out where we are and what to do next. Just as the two were walking, something exploded out of the snow. Usopp shrieked, Snow monster! After all the snow fell away, Zoro revealed himself. Zoro shivered. Whoa, that was a close one. Why did I dream about a field of flowers? Usopp blinked. Zoro? Zoro looked over. Hey Vivi. What's up? Oh, it's you, Usopp. What are you guys doing out here in the snow? Usopp and Vivi yelled in anger. That's exactly what we're going to ask you. With nothing else to do, the three decided to walk together in a random direction. Back at Bighorn Village, after the avalanche ended, Wapol literally ate through the snow and freed himself and his goons. Wapol growled, I won't let them get away with this. Koromarimo asked, Who are you talking about, sir? Wapol snapped, irritated. Them. I'm talking about them, of course. Chess asked, But what do you mean by them? Wapol yelled angrily, You told me that some of the Straw Hats went up the mountain toward my castle. Isn't that right? Then this happened. They have a grudge against us. So they climbed up the mountain and caused the avalanche. Chess wondered, So they were the ones that caused this? Koromarimo added, Those pirates caused the avalanche? Wapol confirmed, That's right. Well, boys, let's go. We'll see if those stupid, sea-loving sailors know anything about fighting in the snow. Chess and Koromarimo cheered. Yes, Wapol. Chess and Koromarimo then dug up Wapol's mount, and they began making their way up the mountain. Elsewhere on the mountain, after the avalanche ended and it started to snow heavily, Luffy removed his coat to cover Nami and to make sure she stayed warm. Rimuru said, Luffy, you go on ahead. I'll look for Sanji and catch up later. Luffy nodded. Right? I'll see you later. Luffy started running up the mountain while Rimuru flew above the snow. Rimuru began searching for Sanji with her observation haki. Rimuru muttered, There you are. Rimuru landed where Sanji was buried and shoved her arm deep into the snow. As Rimuru pulled Sanji out, she noticed that the small bunny that had attacked them earlier was digging up a larger rabbit in desperation. Rimuru thought, Poor little guy. I know they attacked us, but they are just trying to survive. I'd feel bad if I made the bunny an orphan. Rimuru approached the little bunny and pulled its parent safely out of the snow. The little rabbit lunged into its parent and hugged it tight. The Lapon held its child as it watched Rimuru fly away with an unconscious Sanji. Rimuru eventually caught up to Luffy. Rimuru called out, Yo! Luffy asked, You found Sanji? Rimuru answered, Yup. Let's hurry before the weather gets any worse. Luffy nodded. Right? The two began making their way up the steep mountain. The weather got colder and colder, but Luffy and Rimuru kept running toward the castle. Luffy shivered. I know it's cold, Nami, but just hang in there a little while longer. Rimuru asked, Are you sure you're going to be okay without a coat, Luffy? Luffy replied while shivering, I'll be fine. We just need to hurry. As they continued to climb the mountain, they suddenly heard a voice. A voice shouted, Look there. There they are, Wapol. Luffy and Rimuru blinked. They stopped as Wapol and his goons stood directly in front of their path. Luffy asked, Who are you guys? Rimuru thought to herself, Did he seriously forget who they are? Wapol threatened, I've had enough of you straw hats. I'll kill you this time. Rimuru yelled, Get lost. Luffy added, We have no time to deal with you. Wapol scoffed, I don't think so. Why would I want to do that? I have no intention of making it easy for either of you and your half-dead friends to get away from here. Rimuru and Luffy simply walked away, not wanting to deal with Wapol's nonsense. Irritated that the two ignored him, Wapol planned to add a new law on the spot. Wapol screamed, Those four are guilty. Chess, Koromarimo. Punish them immediately. Kill the two unconscious ones first, since they're ignoring me the most first. Chess and Koromarimo shouted, Yes, sir. Chess and Koromarimo charged at the group. Luffy snapped, What did he say? Koromarimo attacked. Take this. Marimo, surprise. Luffy countered, Gum Gum twin pistol. Upset at Wapol's statement, Luffy handed Nami to Rimuru and punched both of Wapol's men backward. Rimuru said, Luffy, let's go. Luffy nodded. Right? The two ran faster to get Nami and Sanji to Dr. Kureha. Wapol smirked. It's about time they see what fighting in the snow is really like. Wapol and his two goons dived into the snow, tunneling their way toward the group. Rimuru handed Nami and Sanji back to Luffy. Rimuru stated, activating observation haki. My turn. Rimuru leaped ahead and performed a handstand while growing an ankylosaurus tail. Rimuru spun around and smacked Wapol with a haki-coated tail smash just as he jumped out of the snow. Wapol groaned, "Gah!" Rimuru then flipped in the air and made a gun gesture with both of her hands. Koromarimo shouted, "Here's what a snow battle is really like. The white disguise. Snow power makeup." Chess mocked, "Those two are so incredibly weak that, gah." Just as Chess and Koromarimo jumped out of the snow, they were hit with a barrage of ice bullets and fell heavily to the ground. Rimuru called out, "Water gun, ice bullet version." Wapol got up in pure frustration. Wapol roared angrily, "How the hell does she know where we'll pop up? What the? Lapons?" Wapol looked ahead of him and saw a massive horde of Lapons. Luffy blinked. "Polar bears." Koromarimo and Chess got up, badly wounded, and were completely surprised by the appearance of the giant rabbits. Koromarimo stuttered, "Did those things just protect them?" Chess yelled, "That's impossible. Lapons never form bonds with humans. They're nothing more than wild beasts." Rimuru made eye contact with the leader and smiled. Luffy noticed the interaction and let out a large grin. Rimuru called out, "Thanks a lot." Luffy added, "Yeah, you really did us a favor." The Lapon boss nodded. "Humph." Rimuru grabbed Sanji. "Let's go." Luffy nodded. "Right?" The duo then left, leaving the Lapons to deal with Wapol and his goons. After walking for a while, they eventually reached the base of the Drum Rockies. As the weather got bitterly cold, a brutal blizzard struck the mountain. Rimuru noticed that Luffy was at his absolute limit and told him to let her handle the rest. Rimuru then absorbed her gloves and boots and created sharp claws. Using webs, Rimuru securely tied Luffy, Nami, and Sanji to her back, wrapping them all in a warm blanket. Rimuru began scaling straight up the mountain until, eventually, they reached the top. As Rimuru was about to carry the others inside, the cliff she was standing on suddenly broke. Rimuru gasped, "Crap!" As Rimuru was about to fall, something grabbed her hand and pulled her up. Rimuru blinked. "Huh!" Rimuru looked up and saw a brown, humanoid creature wearing a pink hat and sporting a bright blue nose. Rimuru thought to herself, "A gorilla?" The creature pulled Rimuru and the others up to safety. Rimuru breathed, "Thank you." The creature looked at Nami, Luffy, and Sanji before glancing back at Rimuru. The creature turned around and walked toward the castle. A voice said, "Follow me." Rimuru's eyes lit up in amazement. Rimuru cheered, "Whoa, you can talk. Hey, do you live with the witch?" The creature nodded and kept walking, calling out, "Doctorine! Doctorine!" A voice replied from inside, "What is it, Chopper?" Chopper yelled, "There are people here who need medical attention." After a moment, an elderly woman came out of the castle. Rimuru asked, "Are you the witch? I mean, Dr. Kureha?" Kureha answered, "Yes, that's me. Now, who are you folks, and how'd you get up here?" Chopper explained, "They climbed up the side of the mountain." Kureha looked surprised. "She climbed this mountain while carrying 3 people? That's almost 3 miles of sheer rock, and I don't see her carrying any tools." Chopper added, "When she almost fell, I noticed that she had claws." Kureha realized, "So she ate a devil fruit." Rimuru replied, "Yes, ma'am." Rimuru bowed deeply to the two. "Please, ma'am, I really need your help. My friends need your help. My brother gave his coat to our sick friend to keep her warm, and now he's freezing." Kureha scoffed. "He gave his coat to this girl in weather like this? That's idiotic. He's covered from head to toe in frostbite. Chopper, draw some hot water and throw him in." Chopper nodded. "Right." Chopper quickly left to do what he was told. Kureha assured her, "And you, girl, Don't worry. I'll make your brother and your friend better. Now help me carry these three so we can treat them. Rimuru nodded. Yes, ma'am. Rimuru then carried the three into rooms that Kureha had prepared. She began examining Nami while Chopper started examining Sanji after letting Luffy soak in the water. Chopper and Kureha worked diligently to treat the three while Rimuru waited anxiously for the results. After a while, Kureha and Chopper came out of the room. Kureha sighed. We've done all we can now. We just need to let them rest. Rimuru smiled. Thank goodness. Thank you. Kureha countered. Don't mention it. But now I've got a few questions to ask, and I'll also have to talk to you about how you'll pay for their treatment. Rimuru replied. I kind of expected that, and I'm willing to pay the price. But I do have a question. Kureha grinned. Oh? Are you curious about how I stay so young? Rimuru stammered. And no, ma'am. I was asking about your talking gorilla. Kureha corrected her. Gorilla? Oh, you mean Chopper. He's right over there. Kureha pointed at a small, furry creature in a pink hat and blue nose, with antlers sticking out of the sides of the hat. Chopper, who was hiding behind the doorway completely backward, was startled when he saw the look of pure amazement in Rimuru's eyes and became incredibly nervous. Chopper squeaked, "W what?" Then, out of nowhere, Rimuru lunged at Chopper and held him in a tight embrace. Rimuru squealed, "Ah, you're such a cute little gorilla raccoon deer thing, aren't you?" Chopper cried, Let me go." Chopper started flailing and pushing Rimuru's face away, but his paw sunk deep into Rimuru's face. Rimuru asked, "Hey, want to join our crew, little guy?" Chopper gasped, "Huh?" Kureha raised an eyebrow. "So you guys are pirates?" Rimuru confirmed, "That's right." Chopper thought to himself, "Wait, they're pirates?" Kureha ordered, "Well, cut that out. We still need to discuss your payment for our services, along with other things." Rimuru pleaded, "Can I still hug this little guy while we do?" Chopper complained, "Why is your face weirdly squishy? It's like you don't have any bones." Kureha demanded, "Your friends still need someone to watch over them, so drop him." Rimuru pouted, "Okay, fine." Rimuru dropped Chopper, and he quickly ran away. Chopper and Rimuru then began carrying the remaining supplies to the rooms so they could keep treating everyone. Kureha began checking Nami's disease, injecting Nami with antibiotics. She then showed Rimuru Nami's stomach, revealing some strange markings. Kureha explained, "This is what caused her sickness." Rimuru looked closer. "A bite mark." Kureha nodded. "Yeah, she was bitten by a bug called a kestia, a poisonous tick that thrives in hot and moist environments. The bacteria in these insects' bites lay dormant for 5 days and cause severe pain and other effects that you probably have noticed. Given the infection in the area, I'd say that she's been in pain for 3 days. She may feel serious pain, but it'll ease up in about 2 more days without any treatment." Rimuru asked, relieved, "Really? It'll really be gone in 2 days?" Kureha clarified, "I nod, because she'll be dead by then." Rimuru was deeply shocked to hear that Nami was so close to death's door. Kureha continued, "This particular infection is called the 5-day disease. I heard that the kestia went extinct many years ago, but I kept the antibiotics just in case. Where did you guys come from that caused her to get exposed to it? Was she walking around some ancient jungle with an exposed belly? Hee, that's ridiculous." Rimuru immediately realized exactly where Nami had caught the infection. Rimuru admitted, "Yeah, we came from Little Garden." Kureha gasped, "Little Garden? I've read about it from a book but thought it was fake with all the dinosaurs in it. So you're saying it's real?" Rimuru nodded, much to the absolute surprise of Kureha. Kureha concluded, "Well, all we could do now is to let her rest." Rimuru smiled softly. "Thank you very much." Chapter 19, Chopper, the Monster of Drum Island. After Vivi and Usopp stumbled into Zoro, the three started walking until they eventually reached a village buried deep in the snow. Usopp blinked. "Hey, look at those buildings. They seem familiar, don't they?" Vivi realized, "You're right, Usopp. This place is Bighorn. We just came back. They noticed a large crowd gathered and decided to go see what was going on. Zoro asked, "Hey, what's going on here?" A villager turned around. "What's going on here? Wait, what's going on with you? Why are you shirtless?" Another man explained, "Dalton was buried under the snow during the avalanche." Usopp gasped, "What?" Vivi cried, "Dalton's under that?" The man nodded. "That's right, and we can't get over there to dig him out because those guys are blocking us." A soldier laughed. "For the last time, stay back. But if you really want to dig your friend out, I guess you should try fighting us off." "Ha ha ha ha." Zoro observed, "Hey, Usopp, I think I remember those clothes. They are the exact same guys who attacked our ship when we were out in the ocean, right?" Usopp confirmed, "Yeah, that's right." Zoro smirked. "Then they're not our friends. They're bad guys, our enemy." Usopp stuttered, "Yeah, but wait a second. I know that look." Before anyone else could react, Zoro rushed right up to the laughing soldier and punched him squarely in the face. Vivi screamed, "Zoro, what are you doing?" Both the soldiers and the citizens were completely confused by what just happened. Zoro then casually stole the fallen soldier's coat and gloves, putting them on. Zoro sighed in relief. "That's so much better. It's so warm. I really like this one." Usopp warned, "Watch out, Zoro. They don't look happy." A soldier snarled, "I know you. You were on the ship that beat up Wapol, and where that ship-eating monster came from, weren't you?" Zoro mocked, "That's right. A little slow, aren't you?" The soldiers drew their swords and attacked all at once. Zoro ran right through the crowd and quickly stole 3 swords from them. A soldier yelled, "Let's get this guy!" The soldiers charged at Zoro again. Zoro declared, 3 sword style, Hawk Wave. With a swift strike, Zoro immediately took down all of Wapol's men. Zoro sighed, "What a shame. Already over? That was disappointing." Vivi and the villagers stood in absolute awe at what they had just witnessed. Usopp bragged, "Good job, Zoro. Just like how I taught you." The villagers took immediate advantage of Wapol's men being defeated and began digging frantically. Zoro asked, "Usopp, what's going on here?" Usopp replied, "I'll explain to you later, but now let's just give them a hand." Usopp, Vivi, and Zoro began digging into the heavy snow to find Dalton. Elsewhere, after the Lapons had fought Wapol and his goons for a while, the giant rabbits finally dispersed, having bought Luffy and Rimuru enough time to safely climb the mountain. Wapol laughed, "Mahahaha, you better run, you stupid bunnies. None of you should ever mess with the king. Still, it annoys me to have to expend so much of my power against a pack of overgrown rabbits." Chess reasoned, "There is no helping it, sir. They are the fiercest animals on the island." Wapol roared, "Whatever. You're next, you straw hats." Meanwhile, inside the castle, Chopper had successfully treated Sanji and Luffy, while Dr. Kureha treated Nami. Following the treatment, Rimuru was fast asleep on a chair right next to Nami's bed, while Chopper was quietly preparing to make medicine for her. Nami slowly woke up and noticed Chopper. Nami whispered, "Hello." Startled by Nami suddenly waking up, Chopper bumped hard into a bookshelf. He panicked, running straight to the doorway, and hit himself backward. Nami chuckled softly, "I think you got that backward. The hiding thing, I mean." Frightened by Nami, Chopper quickly fixed his position and hid the correct way. Nami smiled, "Well, that is better, but it's a little late at this point, and I can still see you." Chopper yelled defensively, "Shut up, lady. Oh, and can you tell me how your fever is doing?" Nami blinked. "Huh." Rimuru mumbled groggily. "Whoa, Nami?" Rimuru woke up, still a little out of it after Chopper shouted. Suddenly realizing, Rimuru screamed, "Nami, you're awake." Chopper shrieked, "A-H-H-H." Chopper got completely spooked by Rimuru's sudden shouting and stumbled backward, crashing loudly into the furniture. Kureha yelled from down the hall, "Keep it down, Chopper." Rimuru smiled happily. I'm so happy you're awake, Nami. Nami looked around. Where are we? Kureha walked into the room after Chopper made a mess, explaining, couldn't you tell? Your friend brought you here to the castle to get you treated. Nami asked, so you're the witch? Kureha touched Nami's forehead to check her temperature and took a drink from a bottle of alcohol. Kureha noted, yes, and you can call me Doctorine. It seems that your temperature has gone down several degrees. Nami asked anxiously, what about Sanji and Luffy? Rimuru reassured her, oh, don't worry about them. They're asleep in another room. Dr. Kureha then explained to Nami exactly how she had gotten sick, warning her that she needed to stay and rest for a couple of days. When Nami objected to the idea of staying, Dr. Kureha instantly threatened her. Rimuru quickly diffused the situation and winked at Nami, signaling her to just let her handle things. Suddenly, Chopper burst back into the room with Luffy trying to eat him and Sanji trying to cook him. Chopper screamed in terror, "H! Somebody save me!" Luffy's stomach growled loudly as he yelled, hold on, meat! Sanji shouted, hold on, Luffy! Let me cook this guy first. Luffy and Sanji quickly let go of Chopper the moment they noticed Nami was awake. Luffy cheered, Nami, you look like you're all better. Sanji swooned, Nami dear, I'll prepare a tasty venison dish for you. Chopper tried to sneak away, but he was immediately spotted by Sanji and Luffy. He panicked and bolted. Sanji and Luffy yelled together, come back! The two quickly ran after Chopper, leaving the three women alone in the room. Kureha mused, I'm impressed. Those guys are already up and moving. Rimuru smiled, that's normal for them. Nami asked, so, can you tell me about that talking raccoon? Rimuru explained, he's a blue-nosed reindeer, and from what Doctorine told me while she was treating you, Chopper is a reindeer that ate the human fruit. What's more, he's a doctor. Elsewhere in the castle, Sanji and Luffy managed to catch up to Chopper, who was still running for his life. Luffy yelled, don't run away, meat! Sanji added, don't eat it yet. Chopper cried, leave me alone! Suddenly, Chopper changed into his heavy human form and punched both Luffy and Sanji hard. Chopper yelled angrily, I'm not food for you, okay? Chopper quickly changed back into his small hybrid form and ran away again. After failing to catch Chopper, Sanji went ahead and made lunch for everyone. While eating, Luffy turned to the doctor. Luffy requested, join our crew, old lady. We really need to have a doctor on board. Kureha asked, your name is Luffy, right? Luffy nodded. Yeah. Kureha pressed, and did you just call me old lady? Luffy replied bluntly, yeah, that's what I said, old lady. Before he could finish, Kureha kicked Luffy in the face so hard he crashed directly into the wall. Kureha snapped, if I were you, I'd be more careful of what I say. Kureha sat down calmly and added, I'm still in my youthful 130s. Sanji muttered, geez, what a tough old hag. Sanji was instantly kicked into a wall by Kureha as well. Rimuru sighed, and I thought Sanji had manners. Kureha spoke to them, so you boys are asking me to be a pirate? Don't be ridiculous. That would be a waste of my time. Besides, I have no interest in the sea. Luffy countered, those are lame excuses. It's about adventure, old woman. Kureha sighed, this one here is a slow learner. Rimuru apologized, I'm really sorry about my dumb brother. Chopper got curious about the crew and crept over to check on them, but he was immediately spotted by the two guys and got chased all over again. Chopper shrieked, H. Luffy yelled, wait, food, come back here. Slow down. Sanji commanded, get back here. Kureha got tired of the guys constantly chasing Chopper and began chasing after them with weapons raised. Kureha yelled irritably, that's enough, you idiots. Sanji and Luffy screamed, H. Scary hag. Chopper then doubled back, returning to check on Nami, and closed the door behind him. Chopper panted, I lost them, at least for now. Doctorine's medicine works quickly to reduce the fever, but the bacteria will still remain in your body for a little while longer. So take your antibiotic shots and stay in bed. Rimuru smiled. Thank you for preparing Nami's medicine. Nami added, Yeah, thank you. Chopper got incredibly giddy at their gratitude and started doing a little embarrassed dance. Chopper yelled happily, Shut up, you jerks. I don't need thanks from any humans. Nami smiled. He's not so good at hiding his emotions. Rimuru agreed. True. Chopper then nervously approached the two women out of sheer curiosity. Chopper asked, So, are you guys really pirates? Nami answered, Uh-huh. Chopper pressed. Really? Real pirates? Rimuru nodded. Yup. Chopper asked, So you have a flag with a skull on it? Nami smiled. We do. It's on our ship. Rimuru asked gently, You're interested in pirates, huh? Startled by the sudden question, Chopper backed off quickly and crashed into a bookshelf. Chopper yelled nervously, No, not at all, idiots. Nami reassured him, Okay, we get it, so calm down. Rimuru added, But if you want, you can come and sail with us. Nami agreed. It will really help us a lot. If we have a doctor on board, then I wouldn't have to stay here for 3 more days. Rimuru smiled. It'll be fun. I promise I'll even protect you from those idiots trying to eat you. Chopper cried out, No, that's crazy. You realize I'm a reindeer. I don't belong on a ship with a bunch of humans. I mean, just look at me. I'm a reindeer, but I can talk and everything. Rimuru replied, Don't worry about it. We don't mind if you're not human. Look. Suddenly, Rimuru turned into a small slime, which completely startled Chopper. Chopper screamed, H. What happened to you? Rimuru explained, I ate a devil fruit just like you, and so did Luffy. I understand that you're trying to scare us off by calling yourself a monster, but it isn't working. Dr. Kureha told me about your past, and I can see why you think like that, but you don't have to worry. Heck, I'm sure Luffy would be interested in having a monster join our crew. Chopper was completely surprised by what Rimuru said, and a little spark of hope grew inside him. Suddenly, a voice echoed, There you are. Meet. Chopper instantly lost his train of thought as pure fear flooded his mind when Luffy and Sanji appeared at the door. Luffy and Sanji yelled, Come here, you! Chopper shrieked, H. Sanji and Luffy commanded, Come back! Chopper bolted out of the room with the too hot on his tail. Kureha walked into the room and sat down. Kureha mused, Those brats sure can run, can't they? I don't like what you both are doing, trying to take my reindeer away without my permission. Nami countered playfully, What? Do we need permission to make a move on a man? Kureha laughed. Hi, no, I guess not. If you want to take him away from here, then go ahead. Kureha glanced deeply at Rimuru before continuing. As you know, it won't be as easy as you think, but if you can heal the scar in his heart, then be my guest. Rimuru nodded. Yeah, I understand. Nami blinked. What do you mean? Kureha said, Get comfortable, because this is a story I told your captain here after I treated your illness. Meanwhile, Sanji and Luffy had lost track of Chopper and noticed that the main castle gate was wide open. Sanji pointed, Hey Luffy, check out the door at the front entrance. It's wide open. Luffy looked over. Huh? No wonder it's so cold in here. Sanji suggested, Let's close it. With it open like that, there is no difference between inside and outside. Suddenly, Chopper yelled, Hey! Stop that. Don't touch that door. Get away. As the two were about to close the heavy door, Chopper caught their attention from across the room. Sanji ignored him, saying, Never mind him. Let's close it, or we're gonna freeze to death. Luffy agreed. Yeah, that's a good point. Chopper grew furious. Stop! Didn't you guys hear what I said? Angry that the two were ignoring him, Chopper changed into his large human form, broke the heavy wooden railings nearby, and hurled them directly at the two. Chopper roared, "Get back!" Luffy yelled, "What is with this guy's deal? What the hell is he so angry about?" Startled by Chopper's intense outburst, Sanji backed away and suddenly heard a faint chirping noise coming from the top of the door. Sanji looked up and spotted a small bird's nest. Sanji called out, "Hey, come over here for a second." Luffy asked, "What's up?" Sanji pointed, "Look up there." Luffy approached Sanji and looked closely at the top of the open door. Sanji explained, "It's a bunch of snowbird chicks. If we closed the door..." Luffy realized, so that's the reason they're leaving it open. Satisfied that the two finally understood why he was upset, Chopper quietly left, changing back into his small hybrid form. After a moment of realization, Sanji and Luffy ran back inside to escape the freezing wind. Luffy and Sanji shivered. "Cold." Luffy paused. "Hold on a second." Sanji asked. "Yeah." Luffy thought about it. That reindeer guy, wasn't he speaking earlier? Sanji realized, now that you mention it, I remember him walking on two legs, too. Luffy and Sanji screamed together, "He's a monster!" Luffy began counting on his fingers. "Okay, let's get things straight. He walks upright, and he talks." Sanji added, "But he's not human." Luffy said, "He has fur." Sanji noted, "And he's small." Luffy added, "But he can grow big." Luffy and Sanji yelled, "Clearly a monster." Unknown to the duo, Chopper was standing nearby and overheard their entire conversation. Recalling Rimuru's words, he felt deeply sad and depressed to hear them calling him a monster. He quietly turned and walked away. However, back at the door, Luffy's eyes suddenly began to sparkle with pure excitement. Luffy cheered, "What a cool guy! I bet he's really interesting. I know, he should join us." Chopper, having walked away upset, did not hear the end of their conversation. He walked past an open window on his way to his office to make more medicine when he suddenly froze. Chopper looked out the window, sniffed the freezing air, and picked up a dangerous scent. Chopper thought in a panic, "This scent, this is bad. I gotta warn Doctorine." Chopper instantly changed into his full reindeer form and quickly ran straight to Nami's room. Meanwhile, in Nami's room, Kureha had just finished recounting the heartbreaking events of Chopper's past with Dr. Hiralik to Nami. Luffy and Sanji had just arrived right as the story concluded. Nami mused, "So for 6 years, Chopper has been studying medicine under you." Kureha smiled, "Yeah, I taught him everything I know. He's been a good student." Suddenly, Rimuru glanced sharply out the window. Nami asked, "What's wrong?" Rimuru stated, "It seems like that Big Mouth has arrived." Luffy blinked, "Big Mouth?" Suddenly, Chopper burst into the room in a panic. Chopper cried, "Doctorine, there's trouble. It's Wapol. Wapol is back." Luffy groaned irritably, "What? The guy with the annoying mouth is here." Outside the castle, Wapol was thoroughly enjoying his grand return. Wapol bragged, "I have finally returned. Now, at long last, we shall restore the Drum Kingdom." Wahahaha. Chest pointed upward. "Wapol, look sir, on top of the castle." Wapol looked up. Wapol looked up and saw a black pirate flag decorated with a skull, crossbones, and beautiful pink cherry blossoms. Wapol roared in anger. "Why is that strange flag flying? It's an outrage. Where's the flag of the Drum Kingdom?" Kureha's voice echoed out, "Hi, that old thing? I burned it." Kureha and Chopper stepped boldly out of the castle. Wapol snarled, "Kureha, the last survivor of our Dr. Hunt. Get out of my castle." Kureha countered fiercely, "This castle is no longer yours, Wapol. It's all uncorrupted from the misery during your reign. Leave, not just here, but the country too. The Drum Kingdom has already died. You moron." Wapol yelled furiously, "What's that?" Before anyone else could move, Luffy came rushing completely out of the castle with his arms stretched far back. Luffy roared, "Hold it! This guy is mine. Gum gum. Chess warned in a panic. Wapol, sir, look, it's the straw hat. Wapol shrieked. Gyahhh. Luffy slammed his fist forward. Pistol! Luffy punched Wapol directly in the face, sending him tumbling backward along the ground and right off the cliff edge. Koromarimo and Chess screamed, Wapol! Wapol's subordinates quickly ran forward and caught him by his ankles before he could fall to the bottom. Chess gasped. That was close. Kureha and Chopper stood completely stunned that Luffy had suddenly come out of nowhere and punched Wapol square in the face. Luffy stated irritably, I'm so sick of you guys. You know that? What's your problem? You've been getting in our way before we even got to this island. Last time I saw you guys, I couldn't fight because Rimuru got to deal with you. But now... Luffy grinned widely and added, Oh, you guys are so gonna get it. Koromarimo yelled, How dare you? Do you know who you attacked? This is no lowly commoner. This is Wapol, the king and absolute ruler of this kingdom. Chess added, That's right. Show some respect. He is this country's monarch. How dare you treat his excellency like that? Luffy grabbed his own mouth, stretched his face out wide, and stuck his tongue out to mock them completely. Luffy yelled, Who cares? He ticked me off again. Rimuru and Sanji finally came out of the castle behind him, with Rimuru holding an extra coat. Rimuru sighed, Luffy, I thought I told you to put on a coat before you slugged the dude in the face. Sanji agreed, Yeah, aren't you cold in that getup? Luffy blinked, suddenly shivering violently. Cold. Rimuru handed it over. Here, put this on. Luffy hurriedly grabbed the coat and threw it over his shoulders. Kureha asked, So, I take it you folks encountered him before? Rimuru explained, Yeah, we bumped into him out at sea. The creep even demanded me to marry him and then started literally eating our ship. Luffy added, Yeah, and you also ate his ship too as payback. And I want to kick his ass. Wait, did he say he was the king? Rimuru nodded. I think I get it. Kureha mentioned that Wapol ran away because of pirates and had to pretend to be a pirate at sea. Koromarimo bragged. How clever. Yes, Wapol was a pirate before he met you guys, for his own reasons. Chess added. And now his pirate days are over, and he's returned to reclaim his place as king. Rimuru stated bluntly, That's dumb. Wapol got back up to his feet, absolutely furious after being mocked physically by Luffy and verbally by Rimuru. Wapol roared, What did you say? Rimuru countered, For one thing, pirates fight other pirates to loot each other, so you're just putting a target on your backs. And secondly, Marines hunt pirates, so you placed a bigger target on your backs. If you really are a king, you should have just gone to the Marines and requested help instead of pretending to be pirates. Sanji smirked. Now that you mention it, that is pretty dumb. Chopper added, Super dumb. Luffy nodded. How stupid can they be? Rimuru laughed. Ha 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 ha. Even an idiot like Luffy thought it was dumb. Wapol and his lackeys stood completely dumbfounded, stunned by how ridiculous their choice actually was and that there had been a much simpler, faster option all along. Chopper looked over. Can I ask you something? Luffy asked. What is it? Chopper wondered. How did you stretch like that? Luffy grinned. Oh, it's because I ate the gum fruit and became a rubber man. Chopper blinked. What's that? Rimuru smiled warmly. It's a monster, just like you and me. Wapol and his men finally snapped out of their dumbfounded expressions and readied themselves to fight. Wapol growled. Ignoring the choice, we're up against an old hag, a reindeer, and a couple of the straw hats. It's not that much of a challenge. This will be over quickly. Rimuru challenged. That's right. It only takes one of us to kick your asses. Wapol yelled irritably. Don't you dare mock me. Rimuru smirked. I just did. Wapol growled. Anyway, I'll start with you, Dr. Kureha. You've made a major offense by moving into my castle, and an even greater one by flying that strange flag. Kureha countered fiercely. It's not yours. Not anymore. It's Hirolik's grave. I wasn't interested in this rundown place, not with all the horrible things you did here. But we could use it to do some actual good. And the reindeer insisted on flying the Quack's flag. Wapol laughed loudly. Mahahaha! I almost forgot about that fool. Mahahaha! Chopper and Rimuru both grew incredibly angry at Wapol for laughing at someone who had sacrificed everything trying to save the kingdom. Wapol ordered angrily, "How dare you desecrate my castle by flying the flag of that stupid doctor? I command it to be burned immediately." Chopper instantly changed into his heavy human form, stepping forward determinedly. Chopper roared, "I'll never let you touch that flag or get inside this castle. Never!"